the golf tournaments are also starting up soon too, so we'll be hearing from players there as well. And Pedersen made it a point to say he bulked up this off season. He added 13 pounds of lean bulk, which I'm like, 13 pounds of muscle sounds like it's nice. It's nice to hear that he did add some.
Yeah,
but like 13 pounds.
I'm excited every year. I get excited for that, right? The new weigh-ins on day one of camp, and then the tweet comes out of what everyone's weighing in at, and who gained weight, who lost weight. Last year was hilarious because it was like the first summer where guys were just trying to gain weight because they knew Craig Berube was coming into town, and you had guys gaining like 8, 9, 12, 13 pounds over the. Even Matthew Nyes gained a bunch of weight over the offseason trying to get heavier. Now he's trying to lean out this offseason, still be heavy, but a little leaner and more agile, which is great to see. But I'll be curious to see kind of what the weigh-ins look like heading into camp this year for the Maple Leafs.
I'll be very curious to see just also how many players may have done something like totally different in terms of their off ice. Like I'm curious to see if Austin Matthews, like if there's any changes to how if he loses weight, if he gains weight, although I don't think he probably would gain that much.
No, I don't think Matthews changed his game. He just needs to stay healthy. He doesn't need to change his game. Matthews is fun. I would stay far away from trying to talk to Matthews about his kind of training regimen, unless it was something that could keep him healthier, like strengthen up that back maybe, so that that doesn't become a problem this season like it was all of last year. But I don't think that would be all that different, I suppose. The only other I don't know, like we talk about a guy bulking up and how much of a difference maker that could be in the way that Elias Pettersson did. Like if you're thinking of like a Maple Leaf, like who could, if they bulked up and could they be something different, reinvent themselves? I wonder who that guy would be. I don't think it would be Matthews. I don't think Nylander would be a guy you want to reinvent. I think Tavares is kind of who he is, so you're not going to do that there. Nyes is already who he is. He's just going to continue to bulk. I mean, does he reinvent himself by going the other way? I doubt it. I do not think that is the case. You know what would be an interesting one? If like Morgan Riley decided to reinvent himself. He was like
one of the first I thought of.
Right, where like if he realizes, look, I'm not, I don't know if I'm going to be quite the elite skater that I once was, and if I can't skate and get the puck out, and if I am not as big of a factor offensively, I got to bulk up and I got to be stronger to play against. Like that's what Craig Berube wants. He wants guys, he wants trees in front of the net, lumberjacks who are just chopping guys down, and maybe I need to focus on that, put a little bit more extra weight on, and maybe that's the type of difference you could see. A guy like Morgan Riley putting on 10 pounds over summer, 10, 12 pounds or something like that. But I don't see any of the skill guys necessarily putting on a bunch of weight. Maybe a Nicky Bobby could potentially put on some weight, Nick Robertson maybe, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, does he have the frame to put on that type of weight and still be, the same type of player he is? I'm not sure.
Sometimes when those players put on weight, you also get worried about where they're putting on the weight and why they put the weight on as well.
Yeah, and you got to make sure that doesn't impact the foot speed, right? Yep. If you're putting on weight, make sure it's in the lower half, not your upper half, and keep that foot. Although I do believe Nick Robertson was one of those guys who did put on some weight last year, but it was bottom half. It was like tree trunk, like his thighs and his, like they were massive. His thighs. So I maybe that's the type of guy that we're talking about here. I don't know. Guess we'll find out in about a week's time or so when these guys come to camp and we can see what the weigh-ins all look like. Anything else kind of stick out to you from media tour day?
Not really. Yeah, I didn't really see. I think this is kind of just like the first day. You're going to see kind of a bit more happening this week.
Yeah, I think so too. Today was more of a photo shoot, I think, for most people than anything. But we'll keep you guys up to date with what's going on around the league and with the Maple Leafs. Today was heavy on Matthew Nyes, but pretty soon it'll be go time. Training camps in about a week. And then, we'll have lots to get into once training camp starts up pretty soon. All right, that'll do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You could subscribe to the Locked On Leafs podcast on all platforms and receive daily Leafs content. Follow myself on Twitter at Mickey_Canuck. Follow Dave at @the_Morisuti, and follow the show as well at Locked On Leafs. We'll be back with another episode for you guys tomorrow. Back to 5 days a week here on the Locked On Leafs podcast, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. But until then, keep it locked right here on Locked On Leafs.